Welcome back to the Open Wheel Online League Season 5, Round 16, here at Mexico City for the first ever Mexican Grand Prix at the newly added Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. 27 cars about to take the field, so let's go through your starting grid for today's race. At the tail end of the field is the 99 of Brendan Hubbard coming off a podium finish at COTA, but no time set in qualifying, so he's going to be starting at the back of the field. In the row in front of him, row 13, starting 26th, I believe, three times in a row is Tinkle McStinkle on the outside. Then on the inside is going to be the 92 of Lawless Allen in that leader circle hunt. Row 12 on the outside, Dawa Tenzin got his first top 10 of the season and first career road course top 10 at COTA. And then on his inside is the 00 of Glubler Lord looking for some leader circle points. Up to row 11, Mahavir Raghunathan continues to look for some good results. And then to his inside, Miles Rowe, just within the leader circle, coming off an 11th place finish at COTA. Up to row 10, Stingray Robb on the outside, also near that leader circle cut line. Then Lindsey Brewer with a disappointing qualifying effort, going to be coming from 19th on the grid today. Row 9 on the outside is the 18 of Robbie Lohr, pretty close to that cut line. Same with the 76 of Ethan Martz, so they're going to try and stay ahead of that today. Row 8 on the outside is rookie Carlos Huertas, and then on his inside is the 75 of Devlin DeFrancesco. In a lot of drama at COTA, but got a top 10 out of it, and he's now got his best road course qualifying of the season starting in 15th. Up to row 7, it's two Banshees of Little Miami cars, Benjamin Peterson on the outside and Francesco Dracconi on the inside, starting to slip away from the rookie of the season. Leader was there, but he's no longer there. Row 6 on the outside, also a Banshees of Little Miami car, Alessio Deletta. Started deep in the field at COTA, but rallied to a second place finish. To his inside is the 04 of David Malukas, looking for a little bit of good luck to get inside that leader circle. Up to row 5 on the outside is the 64 of Ryan Preece, and then to his inside, Dorian Pinn. Road courses haven't been her strong suit this season, so let's see what she can do today, starting from P9. Up to row 4 on the outside is Guy Gagné, and then to the inside is Louis Foster. Neither of these guys had good days at COTA. Looking for some redemption here. While these two did have good days, row 3 on the outside, Justin Allgaier, current rookie of the season leader, sits third in the overall championship. He's been looking red hot lately. And then Chet Jordan got Silly Men Racing back into the top 10 with a 6th place finish at COTA. Still only has two top 5s on the season. He'll be starting from 5th today. Row 2 on the outside, Connor Zilic with what may be one of the greatest drives in Open Wheel Offline League history, coming from 8th to 1st in about 5-6 laps. It was an incredible drive, made the strategy and the tires work. He's going to be starting from 4th today, and then on his inside, desperately looking for some good luck and a good finish. It's the 33 of Marcus Armstrong, has slipped from 3rd to 7th in the championship and has had 3 races in a row with a significant problem. Up to your front row on the outside, Nolan Siegel, 2nd in the championship. Would normally be a good starting spot championship-wise, but unfortunately the championship leader, Shane Van Gisbergen, is on pole once again, looking to extend his points lead, and if he wins today, that could be championship done and dusted as he looks for number 3. If you look at the standings on the right side, you can see he's up by 79 over Siegel. It was 73 before COTA, went up to 79. He only beat Siegel by 1 spot, but the bonus points helped carry him forward. Justin Allgaier has shot up to 3rd. Louis Foster drops to 4th, and then Zilic shoots up to 5th. Viking Racing had a little bit of a better day, but didn't make up many points on Swindlers of the Immortals at COTA. So we are in Mexico City for the very first time. It's a 2.67 mile circuit. So for 30 laps, I'll make it about 80 miles. The sim time is August 30th at 2 p.m. You can see a lot of fast, winding turns, very technical and challenging. It's going to make for an entertaining race today. It's also going to make for an entertaining race is the fog. If you remember Pocono last season, incredibly foggy, and it seems like the fog has struck again. Let's take a look at your weather. Humidity 100%, as you can clearly see. It's cloudy, temperature of 72 degrees, so it's not too bad. It's pretty cool. Could make for some good racing, but the visibility is going to be quite rough for these drivers. Let's take a look at the tire compound choice, is always important and could really determine how your race goes. Van Gisbergen, your pole sitter on the hards, which you don't often see pole sitters using. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does with those. Nolan Siegel on the softs. Marcus Armstrong on the mediums, which typically are the safe option. And he's third in line. So the top three, all different, which we rarely see. Zilich is on the softs. Chet Jordan is on the mediums. Allgaier on mediums. Foster on mediums. Gagne on softs. Pin on the softs. Priest on the mediums. Malukas on the softs, and Deletta on the hards. That is your top 12. Now, this is going to be a single file start. Testing proved that double file doesn't work here. Just going to be single file, so not a lot of mileage being covered today, as the lap time is quite long relative to its distance. It's not track length that decides the race length. It's the lap time. So 30 laps is what we're going to get for about a 50-minute race. First time ever here. This is actually the first time I've ever simmed a race at Mexico City. So I have no idea how this could turn out, as the pace car is going to pull off. And we are green for the first time in Mexico City. Through the fog, Shane Van Gisbergen gonna be out ahead, but it's a very long straightaway. Can Nolan Siegel get a draft off him and try to come forward? He's on better tires for short distance. You can see some cars going into the grass back here. It's a straightaway, but it can be pretty curvy. Siegel right behind Van Gisbergen. He needs to get by to get some championship points. Through the fog, you can see him right behind, and he's going to try and look to the outside, but he's not going to be able to make a move there. We have no track map to help us today, as this is a brand new circuit, so it's not ready for the overlay. But right now, Van Gisbergen not getting away like he would have liked, but that is the issue with the hards. You lose lap time early on to try to go better later into the stint, but we see many guys that try to do that and realize it's not working and have to pull off. Nolan Siegel looking to the outside here, not going to get by. David Malukas gets into the top 10, going by Ryan Priest, coming into the stadium section. Very tight, twisty section. The top 9 are where they started, but look at Nolan Siegel. He's got a run right now, and he's going to dive to the inside. A lot of time going down the straightaway, a lot of time to size up a pass, and not much room for defense. Siegel going to be on the inside. Can Van Gisbergen outbrake him? He's going to try. Siegel's going to have to go the long way around. But it's not going to work, but it's going to work for Connor Zilich to get up into third around Marcus Armstrong. Also on the soft tires, the Viking racing cars going aggressive with their tire strategy today. Nolan Siegel's really got to try and get by Van Gisbergen quickly. The S is a very tight and winding part of the circuit. Let's go on board with Marcus Armstrong. Actually, this is Chet Jordan. As now we go into the stadium section. A very unique section to this track. Nolan Siegel's going to have another chance to size up a run, and Armstrong's going to have a chance at revenge at Zilich. Siegel pops out much earlier this time. We already have one car into the pits. It's Alessio Deletta, and he came in on the hards, so he knows those aren't working for him, as Siegel is going to be ahead before they even get to the turn. So Nolan Siegel now your new leader, as Van Gisbergen going to drop to second. So Alessio Deletta knows that the hards aren't going to work. And what does that say about Van Gisbergen here? Ideally, I'd say you want to get to about, well, 15 to go is the halfway point. To feel safe, I'd say go for about 18 to go at minimum for the safe. I think you can maybe do 20. Dawa Tenzin and Brendan Hubbard back here. Hubbard trying to move forward as Van Gisbergen now under threat from another Viking racing car as Siegel is pulled up to 1 second. Zilich looking to go back to back. Back here, Foster had to defend off his teammate, Dorian Pinn, as they went into the stadium section, as Van Gisbergen's going to pull off now. That is not good for him. So alarm bells on that number 1 team, as he's going to cycle all the way to the back of the field as they stand. Siegel would be only about 30 points back, which is basically nothing, as Armstrong and Zilich go side by side. Armstrong on the medium tire, so maybe he's starting to get into the preferred areas. Allgaier trying to look around Jordan. Jordan going to try and go up the inside of Zilich into the turn, the chicane for the hairpin. And the 24 fighting hard. He's going to try and go around the outside in the hairpin. Still side by side as they now go into the S's. Who's going to come out ahead? And it seems like Zilich is going to have just enough of a better line, and Allgaier is going to try and sneak around the 24. Who's going to come out on top? Still looks about dead even, but now it's the 24 that's going to come out ahead, as here comes Guy Gagné. Surprise move around the outside, and he's going to get it, and Louis Foster, Allgaier's teammate, is going to jump on it as well. 3 Swindlers cars all here. Pretty bottled up. Armstrong 2 seconds ahead of Zilich already, but 3.7 seconds behind Siegel. But Siegel, we don't know how much time he's going to have up ahead. Jordan in the slipstream of Zilich. As back here, Foster and Pinn side by side teammates. And it seems Foster's just going to stay out ahead. Jordan tries taking a peek at Zilich again, not going to be able to get there. Van Gisbergen currently back here in 21st now, as he got around Tenzin. Deletta, Huertas, Ragunathan, and Martz are all the cars that have pit so far. Siegel 4 seconds up on Armstrong. Have to see when that gap starts closing in. Got Jordan also on the mediums. Van Gisbergen currently on the softs. I don't think you're getting to the end. 28 laps on soft, so he's going to have to go for an extra stop. Now that did work out for Connor Zilich at Coda, but the situations were a bit different, as Jordan has the better tire now, and he's going to be side by side with Zilich coming out of the final turn, as they're going to be dead even going down the straightaway. But I think Chet Jordan's going to have the better line here, but Zilich is going to be aggressive on the braking. Still not out of it. Still side by side. Now Zilich has the better run. Back there, Allgaier got back around Gagné. But these two still side by side. Very hard aggressive racing going on right now. Jordan gonna fade out wide just a little bit, but he now has the position. Took a few turns, but now he's up ahead in third. Armstrong still not gaining time on Siegel, 4.5 seconds back. Gagne dropped down to sixth. A lot of cars on the soft tires out there. Armstrong, one of the few on the mediums, along with Chet Jordan, but I think you're starting to see the mediums take advantage as now Pin going to get around Gagne and Foster's going to join. Foster trying to go around the outside in the final turn. He's going to have a run here. Speaking of having a run, Zilich is trying to chase down Jordan once again. Still looking at that third position. Zilich going to have the outside line, and he's going to get by once again. But the gap in the lead is shrinking. It's back down to 3.5 seconds. Armstrong can see Siegel up the road. So they aren't done battling. As look at Jordan, he's going wide and deep into the braking to try to get by Zilich. But Zilich, a very aggressive driver. 3 seconds is now the gap. Siegel ahead of Armstrong. Trying to hang on as long as he can. This could be a huge championship day. As it stands, he would be making up about 30 points, which would put it to about 49 back, which is within one race. Zilich has kind of started to gap Jordan just a little bit. It's only about 0.8. But Jordan should be doing better on the medium tires here. But he has struggled with tire wear many a times before. This may be another case of it just not going too well for him. Something very much that he'd like to improve upon. 2.5 seconds is now the gap. You can see the 33 coming in. Armstrong, no wins on a road course. He has 3 wins in his career. Has never won more than once in a season. He already has won this season. And he would really love to get a win to get his season back on track as we get into the final few races. Especially as we see ovals coming up, which is his bread and butter. He'd love to carry that positive momentum forward. Meanwhile, at the back of the field, Van Gisbergen still cutting his way forward. He is up to 19th now, right behind Brendan Hubbard in 18th. They continue to try and move forward as he's going to make a move on the 99 here. Both on the soft tires, but Van Gisbergen has slightly better tires, but he is 40 seconds behind the lead. Still side by side with the 99 here. Now he's going to be ahead. Armstrong, less than 1.5 seconds back. Zilich has the 24 on him again. It's a very long straightaway, a long time to get a slipstream as here comes Jordan once again. Up the inside. And he's going to get ahead before they even get to the turn. Kind of slow through that first turn though. And they allow these guys to close back in. Meanwhile, if you look at the top of your screen, Armstrong has closed in on Siegel. He is just 0.8 back. Armstrong has to capitalize here. And Siegel would want to stay ahead as dropping first to second loses you 10 points. And he can't afford to lose anything. Armstrong going to try and go around the outside here, looking for some clean air. He is all over the back of him. As they go through the stadium section, Zilich is back ahead of Jordan already. That number 9 is resilient. Armstrong 0.5 second back. Let's see what the slipstream can do for him. Huge draft, but is it enough? Siegel's going to take a defensive line. Armstrong going to try and go around the outside, and he is going to be ahead before they even get to the turn. The 33 is now in the lead, and let's see how much he can pull out ahead. Already up to a second as Zilich and Jordan battle once again. These two have been going at it. Zilich still going to come out on top, but 1.5 seconds is already the gap. Go on board with Jordan as they come through the S's section. Look at the visibility. A lot of technicality into the throttle input going on right there as Armstrong's going to come around and lead his first lap of the day. In one lap, almost from half a second back to 2.5 seconds ahead, so 3 seconds quicker on that lap. Zilich and Jordan are about 10 seconds behind the leader. Meanwhile, Shane Van Gisbergen is about 40.5 back, running in 16th. Here comes Jordan around the outside. This is what worked for Armstrong. And it looks like this is going to be what works for Jordan, but can he actually hang on to it this time? I will say, Zilich and Siegel are holding on strong to these soft tires. Jordan takes a defensive line. Allgaier in 5th, he's on the mediums. And then Pin and Gagne are on the softs. And then Foster's on the mediums, Priest on the mediums, Malukas on the softs. That's your top 10. Siegel's dropped nearly 5 seconds back already. I would not be surprised if you see him coming in soon. But we have no idea what's the number to keep you ahead as Gagne has gotten into some trouble. He is backwards on the circuit. And this could mess with the race if he can't get back going, but luckily everyone's pretty spaced out, so he's going to be able to get back going. Right as I mentioned it, Siegel's going to enter the pit lane with 19 laps to go. Jordan now starting to put a little bit of distance on Zilich, but again, this straight is very long. But here comes Zilich, he's going to try and pop to the outside. And he has enough room to go for it. Very bold moves from the number 9, but he is going to go ahead. And the 14 of Allgaier is going to try and follow through. And he will. Man. Meanwhile, the 19 of Nolan Siegel. He looks like he's ahead of the number 1 of Van Gisbergen as Glubler went around and he just got lapped by the 33. That was a little bit of a close call right there, but Van Gisbergen in 16th, Siegel only down to 9th. So I think your number 1 car is in some serious trouble here. Armstrong still cruising, 10 seconds up. He's going to try and stay out for as long as he can. Gonna have to watch Siegel's gap. Siegel came out on the medium tires, so I assume he's trying to go to the end on those. This Allgaier bad run out of the turn, and that's going to allow Jordan to have an easy slipstream right here to the inside going down the straight. Can he get it to work? The outside line has looked strong, and it will continue to stay strong as Allgaier holds on. Coming up on halfway. Very, very excited to see how this is going to play out. The Number one still just not making up much time. He's now behind the 18 and 75 as Robbie's going to get around DiFrancesco for 14th there. But Van Gisbergen still back here in 16th, about 44 seconds behind the leader. It was 30, now it's 44. So I think it's pretty safe to say that this one may not be for Van Gisbergen. 12.5 seconds is the lead. Seagulls trying to close back in as here comes the 24. Tried looking underneath the 14. The double zero of Glover Lore came into the pits. He was already one lap down. As we do have the 04 into the barrier. And that is going to be our first yellow flag of the day. And that's going to shake things up. Oh, right in front of Nolan Siegel. And man, he really needed a good result here. And it's just going to go around on him, and there's very little runoff, and he's going to go into the tires. Let's see if we can get an onboard and see what he saw. Man, it was already sliding. And the moisture in the air isn't going to help much. Didn't actually seem like he hit that hard. Let's try and see. Probably some left rear suspension damage. Yeah, definitely had a little bit of a hit, but didn't look too bad, all things considered. But either way, that is our first yellow of the day. Armstrong's lead is going to fade here. That's not what he wanted to see. But this is what Nolan Siegel wanted to see. Yeah, this is the exact opposite of what Armstrong wanted to see. He wanted to see it stay green and go through the cycle. As this will help Nolan Siegel get back to the front. So, under caution for the first time today. Already 2 lead changes in this race. We are at lap 15 of 30, so coming up on the halfway point. Next time by, we're going to have to see who comes in for a pit stop and who stays out. I think you'd probably be expecting to see almost everyone come in. David Malukas out of the race, it seems. Or at least with some serious repairs. That is going to hurt him on the leader circle as no one is coming in. That's quite interesting. As we do actually have some cars coming in at the back of the field. Allen, Deletta, Huertas, Rob, Rowe, Tenzin, McStinkle, Martz, and Ragunathan. I think they're trying to think that they can do a Connor Zilich and basically skip by all of them. We'll be going green next time by at lap 17. So with 14 to go. 00 of Glubler Lore is going to get the lucky dog. So 26 cars will be back on the lead lap as the 00 gets the lucky dog. For being the first car lap down, only car lap down besides the 04 now. So interested to see how long the 33 is going to stay out to try to build a gap on the cars behind. I think he could probably do about 4, 5 laps, which is pretty decent time, but not the time that he would have liked. 00 is really having some trouble cutting through traffic here. And since he's not caught up, I think we're going to have to do another lap of pacing here, unfortunately. So it's now going to be lap 18 with 13 to go. As Malukas is leaving the pits now. If you look at it now, it seems like the sun is starting to peek out as the fog is starting to dissipate. David Malukas is 3 laps down. Still over a third of the race to be determined. The 00 trying to catch up to the field, probably not going to get there in time, but he's lucky that he even got around. So Shane Van Gisbergen, points leader, back in 15th. Nolan Siegel, best car who's pitted before, in 8th. Soft tires. Well, he's on the medium tires, which I'm pretty sure can get you to the end from here. So he's going to have to try to move forward on this restart and hope that he doesn't get stuck in a lot of traffic. As the pace car will pull off this time. And we will go back green with Marcus Armstrong at the lead. Green flag is back out here in Mexico. Slipstream very powerful. He's only 3 attempts up on Zilich, so he's going to go very defensive on the inside here. Way back here you see some cars popping out of line. This is right around where Nolan Siegel is. Siegel back in 8th. Van Gisbergen is cutting his way forward. He's up to 13th. Armstrong ahead of Zilich. Zilich going to try and peek out. He's about 4 attempts back now. But Armstrong taking these defensive lines is really hurting his chances of getting away. Zilich is on those old soft tires. I'm surprised he's still hanging on. But they look a lot stronger today than they usually do. 8 tenths back. Very low grip, which triggered the 04 to go around in the first place. Armstrong trying to build a little bit of a gap, but he's only 3.5 seconds ahead of Siegel, which is not getting the job done. Van Gisbergen picks off another one to go up into 12th. As Zilich is going to come in now. I don't know if that was a good decision to come in that early. Pin going to join, Gagne going to join, Van Gisbergen now is going to come in again. Hubbard will come in again. As if you look back here, Priest is in a 3-way battle. As look at Nolan Siegel trying to come forward. Priest going to have better line here, but Siegel has the better tires. And on the exit of the turn, Priest is going to stay ahead and Foster is going to try and get by, which is critical. Still side by side, wheel to wheel. And it looks like Nolan Siegel's just going to stay ahead, but he's now 6 seconds behind the leader, Marcus Armstrong, as Zilich cycled out to 22nd. So he has a lot of work to do. Same with Pin, Gagne, and Van Gisbergen. With only 12 laps left, I don't know how much ground you're going to be able to make up with that. So it's critical that Armstrong tries to stay out here as long as he can. He's going to stay out another time. It's what he needs to do. 7 seconds up on Siegel, who's really the guy he's trying to beat. Foster cannot hang on any longer. He comes in this time. Priest and Siegel still side by side. Going down the straightaway, who's going to come out ahead? Again, Siegel on the better tires, Priest on the better line. And Priest is going to stay ahead, a lot easier that time. But Siegel's going to have a chance to get another draft. He's not going to be able to get the run here. Meanwhile, Chet Jordan putting some pressure on Justin Allgaier running in second. Right now there's 2 Silly Men racing cars on the podium, but both need to pit, both on the medium tires. Siegel now 9 seconds back. Armstrong just needs to get further and further up the road without any issues. But there may be an issue as the 53 of McStinkle is backwards on the circuit. And this is not what Armstrong needs to see, but he gets back going. No yellow will come out, but Armstrong's in now. We're going to have to see where he cycles out. A lot of cars pit later, so Zilich cycled up to 18th, but still work to be done. Armstrong, Jordan, Priest come in. Allgaier stays out. 6.5 seconds ahead of Siegel. Gonna have to see where does Armstrong cycle out in the crowd. And how far is that going to be behind Siegel? He is going to come out in Oh, he's going to come out right in front of Stingray Rob. He is going to be in 11th. Not too bad, but 10 laps to go and only 10 laps to make up those spots. 15 seconds behind Siegel and many cars back. It's going to be quite tough. Came out on the soft tires, so we're going to have to see if it can last for 10 laps. Jordan came out in 16th, which is ahead of Zilich, so these two are going to continue to battle. Armstrong right in the middle of a bunch of back markers. Not a lot of these guys need to pit again. They can make it pretty safely. Only Allgaier, Peterson, Draconi, and DiFrancesco have not pit on the day. So if he wants to get the win here, he's going to have to try and go long as Allgaier continues to stay out. And Pin finds herself backwards, but bad luck continues. But she'll get back on the circuit. Van Gisbergen all the way down here in 21st. In some traffic. But Siegel looking like he is in a good spot to make up some good points today. Still about 6.5 seconds behind Allgaier. Armstrong continues to make up some ground. Track position-wise, but not time-wise. Armstrong going to get by the 76 of Martz right there. Jordan trying to cut his way forward. He has a car in between him and Zilich. That's the 00 of Glubler-Lore, who went a lap down earlier. Late move for the number 9 to go up the inside of the 00, but he's going to get by. Both still looking at top 10 finishes, but I don't think podiums are in question for either of them. Allgaier still has not pit. 4 different leaders on the day. So he'll come in now. Siegel's going to inherit the lead. And he has clean track. 9 laps to go on his medium tires. See what he can do on them. Peterson and Draconi have not come in. And they're still going to stay out. Huertas has pit. He is in a good position right now. DiFrancesco's still out here on the soft tires. But he is quite slow as the 33 is going to blow by him pretty easily right there. Allgaier will come out behind Armstrong, but ahead of Jordan and Zilich critically. DiFrancesco tried to get back by Armstrong as he is 17 seconds behind. Allgaier still moving forward. Jordan now in a clump of cars here. Look at him trying to bob and weave his way through traffic here. And Zilich is going to go up the inside. Has a little bit of a better buddy to help him out. As now he's up to 13th as we have a couple cars with some trouble. Draconi is off and Lawless Allen is off and in a stranger spot. But he's going to get back going. Some cars are really starting to struggle as he's going to come to a stop here. Has to look for a clean track spot, but he may get towed. And that would cause a yellow. Still waiting to get back going. As there he will go. So no yellow. Peterson still stays out. Huertas in third. Draconi still staying out. Are they trying to stretch the whole way? He is on soft. Same with Peterson and DiFrancesco. None of them have pit. At least for these guys, they know that they can make it. Armstrong now up into 5th. But his main use of the soft tires has probably gone away at this point. It's going to be tough for him to close in. But the podium's still definitely on the table. Zilich and Jordan still fighting their way through traffic, and I think there's a lot of guys in front of them that they can pick off. But they're going to have to start really getting down to business. Peterson has some pressure from teammate Carlos Huertas, who could be looking at another podium today. Last pit on lap 15, so at the halfway point as Armstrong gets by Draconi. Peterson still staying out. That is resilience. With 6 laps to go, Siegel has a 15-second lead. I don't think that's going to be beaten as Draconi finally concedes and comes into the pits. Fortunately, that's going to be a not very good result for him on the day. Swindlers of the Immortals having a rough day outside of the number 14 as Huertas now up into second, getting by Peterson. Armstrong now up into fourth. Dilic trying to battle Dawa Tenzin. Tenzin is being very aggressive. He could be looking at another top 10 here, but it might go away just like that as Dilic and Jordan will both get by as he'll drop to 11th. Allgaier just up the road in 6th. So Siegel just trying to get to the end. He's up 18.5 seconds now. I think he can start relaxing. But Van Gisbergen back in 17th. Every point could matter here. Be gaining about 37 points on him. As Peterson finally going to concede as Dawa Tenzin now runs into issues, and he is in a pretty tough part of the track to get back going, especially with all the traffic. He's going to be a gap right here as he's going to refire, and he drops down to 23rd, unfortunately. As Dilic and Jordan still trying to cut forward now, looking at the 76 of March. Dilic gets by very easily, and it seems Armstrong is starting to stall out with those soft tires. It's got Allgaier behind in 4th. He is about 5 seconds back from him. So only one car has not pit, and that's the 75 of DiFrancesco running in 6th. Very, very bold strategy from this team. But it's finally going to maybe bite him as he's going to spin around. And if this turns out to be a yellow, we may not have much time left to get back going. But he's going to refire here. Now he has to wait for a spot to get going. As there he's going to go, but he's dropped all the way down to 24th. Quite rough. But Armstrong now looking at Carlos Huertas right here, and he's going to go up the inside, and he's going to get to second. So he's on to the podium. Oh man, that car's starting to slide. He's got to take care of it. Don't do anything stupid now. As Jordan trying to battle the 76, but he is hanging on very strong. DiFrancesco concedes and enters pit lane as here comes Jordan trying to look around Martz. Dilic has gone up the road, running in 6th. It's got the 04 behind him, but that's not for track position. Siegel coming to 3 laps to go, 22 seconds up on Armstrong. As Stingray Rob's going to run into an issue. He was running up in 11th, having actually a pretty strong day. And now he's going to cycle backwards. Doesn't lose as much positions as some of the other guys, only drops to 20th. As Chet Jordan finally got around Ethan Martz, so he's running in 7th now. Armstrong in 2nd, Huertas trying to hold off Allgaier for third. As Zilich back here gets around Deletta for fifth place. So he's back into the top 5. Priest battling with his teammate here. 76 of Ethan Marks not playing too kindly. Eagles now hit 2 laps to go. And is in smooth sailing. As Allgaier going into the stadium section is going to go around the outside of the number 7 to get into third. So he's onto the podium, coming to 2 laps to go. Nearly everyone that was up at the front earlier has cycled back. Not quite to where they were, with a couple guys that put on strong defenses as March trying to hold off his teammate Ryan Priest for 8th here. Teammates side by side down the front stretch. Mart's going to have the better line, and it's going to pay off once again. Not going to make the team super happy. Meanwhile, Van Gisbergen has rose to 12th. I don't think he's going to be able to make up much more positions as you look at the gaps up ahead. But right now, from what it looked like, his is actually turning out to be a solid day as Nolan Siegel takes the white flag. Well, at least he did. Now he's coming around through the stadium section for the final time. What a performance from the number 19 as he will come to the checkered flag and claim his disregard. That wasn't him. Never mind. That was Armstrong in the 33. Siegel still well up ahead. As Huertas now trying to hold off Connor Zilich. As Zilich going to try and get by for 4th, and he will. Siegel going through the S's for the final time. Made up a ton of points today. And that's why you don't give up, you keep fighting. And it will be his 2nd win of the season, 3rd career win, as he will come around the final turn to win here at Mexico. Back-to-back wins for Viking Racing. It's Armstrong much, much further back, going through the stadium section for the last time. The yellow did not come out when he needed it to, but he will still come home to 2nd, which is much needed with what he's had the last few weeks, and Allgaier will come around to finish on the podium. Zilich will take the 4th spot, and Carlos Huertas is going to hang on to a top 5 here, just ahead of teammate Alessio Deletta and Chet Jordan back here in 7th. Mart's going to beat out teammate Ryan Priest for 8th. Not to Priest's enjoyment, Foster will take 10th. And then Raghunathan in a drag race with Van Gisbergen, but he's going to hang on. And that is 1 point. That's going to help out Nolan Siegel. So we still wait for a lot of cars to come across the finish line. So Nolan Siegel, your race winner, up by 21 and a half seconds over Marcus Armstrong. What a performance that was. Yes, strategy did help him out, but even then, helps to get just a little bit lucky. But the speed was undeniable today. So he's going to take the race win, second win of the season over Armstrong. Armstrong finally having some good fortune. Allgaier's good streak continues as he will finish in third. Connor Zilic is going to take the fourth spot with a very strong effort today, especially on the defense side. Carlos Huertas will hold on to fifth. Alessio Deletta in sixth. Chet Jordan will come back to seventh. Ethan Mart's going to hold off teammate Ryan Preece for eighth. Preece ninth. Louis Foster will be the final car in the top 10 and 10th. Just at the end, nabbing it from Mahavir Raghunathan, who held off Shane Van Gisbergen for 11th. Van Gisbergen going to lose a good amount of points here as he's going to finish in 12th from the pole. Dorian Pin will finish in 13th, Gagne 14th, Rowe 15th, Hubbard 16th, Robbie 17th, Brewer 18th, Peterson 19th, 20th for Glubler, 21st for Stingray, 22nd for Draconi, 23rd for Tenzin, 24th Allen, 25th McStinkle, 26th DeFrancesco, and then David Malukas, your only car to run into some major issues today, as that was quite an entertaining one from Mexico. The final natural terrain road course race of the season. We've got one road course left, and that is on the streets of Long Beach for race 19. But the next two races are going to be back on the ovals as we return to high speed racing at Las Vegas. And then we have Phoenix right after that, but qualifying for Las Vegas. Don't know if it's going to be on Friday or Saturday. Could be on Friday. Race may be on Sunday. I don't know if there's going to be an event on Saturday. I'll figure it out. That is it for Mexico. And I'll see you for qualifying at Las Vegas.